For our very first adventure with our new Brinkley fifth wheel, we headed back to one of our favorite places in Colorado, home to over 300 miles of hiking trails, towering 14,000 feet peaks, and some of the most vocal elk you'll ever hear.
Joined by the king elk.
And we heard him do the little call, which sounds like wanna do it?
If you haven't guessed it yet, we're taking you along to Rocky Mountain National Park. This will mark the 7th National Park of 2025 for us, and it absolutely did not disappoint, even with a few fifth wheel learning moments along the way.
Can I just push this auto level button?
I don't know if I've ever noticed it do that.
We had a fiasco.
In this video, we will share some of our favorite hikes, unforgettable wildlife encounters, a day in a life of full-time RVing, and our struggles with trying out our new fifth wheel for the first time. Plus, our must-dos and stops in downtown Estes Park. So come along for the adventure. We're so glad you're here. For our first trip with our new 2026 Brinkley Z 2680, we decided to do a place that was not too far from home, in case anything went awry. The drive from Denver to Estes Park is only about an hour and a half and is really quite beautiful. You'll be welcomed when you enter the town by Lake Estes on either side of the road. You'll also be surrounded by 360 mountain vistas. We went straight to check-in at our RV park, which was the first of 2 RV parks, Manor RV Park. Our first stop with the new rig was quite tight, to say the least. We had to maneuver near a tree, and it wasn't really ideal. We also learned a super valuable lesson to make sure your truck is pulled completely out from under your fifth wheel before selecting auto level, or you could risk damaging the frame of either your truck or rig. Well, I don't know how to get it. Like right now the slide could work. We could just leave it there. The slide would come out here. I say we just do that. There's plenty of room in the back. No, because the slide is past the tree. It's behind it. If you pull forward, it'll be right next to it. We ended up getting it all sorted out, but as our fellow RVers know, parking your rig can get heated sometimes. Manor RV Park is a small RV park with beautiful views and is only 8 minutes from downtown Estes. After travel days and getting all set up, we like to take the boys to the dog park, and that's exactly what we did.
Going to the park. Are you going to the park? Do you love the park? Who loves the park? Who loves the park more than me loves the park? Who loves the park?
No, baby.
Who's crying?
The Estes Park Dog Park is easily one of our favorites. It has 3 different sections, including one that connects directly to the lake for swimming. Plus, there's a pretty incredible mountain views, and there's even a small agility course, which is always a fun stop for the pups. With the boys nice and tired, we dropped them off at the RV and headed to The Barrel, one of Estes Park's most popular dog-friendly beer gardens, and only 6 minutes from the RV park. They have over 60 rotating taps and selections of beers, ciders, wine, and more. And a lots to do like hanging outside, but our favorite is playing pool. So we grabbed some beer and played some pool before heading to dinner.
Tight spot, but I can get it.
Come on to Bird and Gems. our favorite restaurant in Estes Park.
Bird and Jim's has been a longtime favorite of ours. We love stopping in to share a few appetizers, get a nice dinner, or one of our personal favorites is grabbing a French press of coffee, sitting on the outdoor patio, and watching a storm roll in over the mountains. We did end up requesting a different spot for the remainder of the week, which we actually do fairly often. Sometimes you arrive at an RV park and realize the site diagram does not quite match the reality of the spot. Luckily, most parks are willing to work with you and get you into a better spot as long as they're not full. The next morning, we were getting up to take the boys for a walk and were greeted by a surprise neighbor. We were able to sneak by our horned friend and head into downtown to get some coffee from our favorite coffee spot in downtown Estes. With a little bit of unexpected traffic. When we head into downtown, we love parking in the Big Thompson Recreation Area or Visitor Center and then walking to downtown from there. It avoids the stress of finding parking with a big truck, and the scenery and area is really hard to beat. And you might just run into a few more elk along the way. This area has a ton of walking paths and even has a tunnel that goes under the main road to avoid traffic and brings you right into the part of downtown that's along the Big Thompson River and right to our favorite coffee shop. There are so many coffee shops in town, but our favorite is Kind Coffee. It's right along the river and is definitely the busiest, but it's the best spot that we've found. We love grabbing our lattes and going to sit by the river. It was the perfect Sunday morning. When we got home to the RV, we had a lot to organize from the craziness of our Brinkley pickup day and moving everything into our RV that same day before we took off for Estes. It was crazy, so we decided to have a lazy organization football Sunday day. Monday rolled around, and since we work remotely, our days usually look like working East Coast hours, and then getting out in the afternoon or evenings to explore. We were especially excited to explore Rocky Mountain National Park and were lucky enough to score a timed entry pass the night before. Like many national parks, Rocky Mountain operates on a timed entry system until 4 p.m. One important thing that often gets missed is the Bear Lake corridor requires a separate timed entry reservation.
Open pass.
We highly recommend scoring a Bear Lake reservation. It's our personal favorite area of the park, and we highly recommend. The passes run from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. and give you access to some of the best hikes and scenery, including our favorite hike, Dream Lake Hike. Dream Lake is an out and back, roughly 2-mile trail with a 450 feet elevation gain and arguably some of the best views in the park.
nice.
Pretty. Can you see it more vividly?
Oh yeah.
Let me see.
Just about a double rainbow too.
No way.
It wants to sneak up over there.
The Bear Lake parking lot fills up pretty fast. You can take a shuttle from a lower parking lot or even from town itself. And pro tip, hikers who take the shuttle do not need a Bear Lake Road timed entry reservation. You would just need the Park and Ride Hiker Shuttle ticket, which you can get through recreations.gov or at the Visitor Center. It costs about $15 per person, but is subject to fees. But you will also need a park entry pass.
We just finished Dream Lake hike and we're heading back down. Saw some animals and a rainbow.
And a massive elk.
And a massive elk.
Massive horns.
Yes. Massive antlers. We watched a lady almost get skewered. It's not too late.
That had to have been the king elk.
Kingpin.
King elk.
King elk. Yeah.
Yeah, some massive antlers.
Yep. It's rutting season. Is that what it's called?
Right.
The rutting season, which means that they're trying to mate with each other and have little babies. And we heard him do the little call, which sounds like a. Want to do it? That has to be it. Something like that. And we were hearing him all last night, or not last night, the night before. So right by our campground, but we also in the morning, yeah. We saw the king elk do it. It was pretty cool. And then we made friends, Ron, who also has Brinkley. So he came over and helped us out with some things and gave us a bunch of cool tips. And then he also frantically ran to our door to let us know that there was a bear near the campground. And we have not seen a bear in Colorado. And we still have not seen the bear, but supposedly there was a black bear. So maybe when we go back, we'll see him. But wouldn't love to see a bear near where we're staying. I like when we see them from the safety of our car. But yeah, we're continuing on through Estes Park, or Rocky Mountain National Park. And we're about to pass the meadows below, so we're hoping to see some more elk. But all in all, really nice afternoon.
Rocky Mountain National Park was founded in 1915 and spans over 415 square miles of protected land. It includes over 70 mountain peaks, and the park itself sits entirely above 7,860 feet in elevation, which is crazy. The meadows are the lowest elevation of the park and well known for frequent wildlife sightings. The elk rut occurs in fall, and we visited in mid to late September, just as the aspen trees were beginning to turn. The elk rut is mating season and also known for when elk can be the most aggressive. During this time, elk perform a bugle call, which attracts females and establishes dominance.
We haven't been here before.
In the meadows, there's the Beaver Meadows Loop, which is a 1.8 mile loop and a really nice easy hike if you're looking to see some animals and wildlife. As we mentioned, a majority of the hikes or favorited hikes are in the Bear Lake corridor. And as we mentioned, Dream Lake is our favorite. It also holds a very special memories for us. So, fun fact, we actually got engaged before we even moved out to Colorado at Dream Lake. And then after we got married, we actually went back and hiked Dream Lake after we got married the following day. And so it's super special to us, and it branches off into a bunch of other hikes as well. Other hikes in the area are like Sprague Lake, which is an easy loop, and then there's also Bear Lake Hike, which is a 0.4 easy flat trail that's right next to the parking lot. It's one of the most successful options and good for all skill levels as well as those adjusting to altitude. If you're looking for something a little more challenging, you can head past Dream Lake and do Lake Hiahai or Emerald Lake. And then if you want to rack up some serious miles, the Glacier Gorge Trail is a great option. The full trail system spans over 20 miles and has multiple out and backs such as Alberta Falls, Mills Lake, Timberline Falls, and a bunch more depending on how far you want to go.
I am heading back to our house near Denver, and it's about an hour and a half drive, but there's a few things we have to do. So we had the dryer vent before we left fall in our house, and there's kind of like a musty smell. And so we taped it back up, knowing that we'd probably have to get someone out there. We had hired someone to come before the Airbnb guests came in, but they had to cancel because another job ran over. And then our cleaners confirmed that it smells musty in there. And so I'm going to meet a repairman and do a few other things. So we're trying to get our house also on Furnished Finder is what it's called. It's for long-term rental. So we actually had an inspector come out. So depending on what city you're in, there's different like rules and licenses and policies that you have to follow when you rent. So for us, in Denver area, there's a short-term rental license and then there's a long-term rental license. And the short term is just like confirming where you live, confirming that you're the owner and resident, and how long you'll be renting it out, and all of that. And then the long term is more of making sure that it's up to code, that it's good for health and safety. So you actually have to have an inspector come out. So we did that about a week ago, and there was super minor feedback that they had. So we had to put smoke alarms in each bedroom, and then we also had to fix a GCFI outlet that wasn't working. So super minor, but we got that all fixed and resubmitted. But part of what we're going to do for long term is make the garage available for any bookings that are 30 days plus. So I'm going to do the final cleanup of our garage because in our franticness to get the RV and then same day move all of our stuff into it from the garage, we left a few things. So I'm going to clean that up, check on the house. Our cleaner was there yesterday, so just check in, do a little fluff, and see how it goes. A little annoying to drive an hour and a half, but it's part of this life and managing a property. So excited to finally get it up on a more long-term rental basis. But we've had some good feedback. We have 2 5-star reviews so far on Airbnb.
I was able to get everything squared away with the house and made my way back up to Estes. But I had to make one very important stop. If you're coming to Estes from the south, say from Denver or Boulder, we highly recommend you stop at Colorado Cherry Company. It is so worth it and is honestly the best chicken pot pies you'll ever have. They also have some smaller pies like fruit pies like cherry or blueberry, and both are amazing. And we also got to use our oven for the first time, so that was super exciting and so yummy. Manor RV Park was booked for the following week, so we had to switch parks. So we got all hitched up and headed on to our next park.
And then I just back up and slam into it. Hopefully it latches. Oh, unlocked. No, that's locked. That should lock itself.
Perfect. Yippee!
Okay, now we'll do that little test thing. So lift the jacks a little bit. This gives. Now I'll try and plug this in first. Pull forward a little bit, right? Is that what you said?
I think so.
Chalk's still there.
Good. I moved with you, so you're good.
Our next RV park was Elk Meadows RV Resort, and it was a bit more expensive than Manor RV Park, coming in at about $700 for the week with a Good Sam discount. That's typically on the higher end of what we like to pay for a weekly stay. The park offered a lot larger sites than Manor RV Park and more noticeable amenities. The higher price was somewhat justifiable since it was peak season and we were booking pretty last minute for our spot.
Fell back. Oh, we should disconnect this. How's it looking?
It's lifted. Well, you don't have to touch it and smash it down. I should just be able to pull away, but I don't know if I've ever noticed it do that.
What?
I don't, the whole thing just goes like that, right? Go down a little bit.
Well, it should be able. Now it feels like the weight went on the truck.
I mean, there's still a big on the truck, but it's definitely lifted up.
Try that.
As long as the things are down.
You're good. Pull away. Nope, you gotta go more forward to close the tailgate.
And auto leveling in from there. But with the chalk's a little closer now.
Do I just push this auto level button?
Sure, it's not a retract, of course.
It's not.
All 4 are off.
All 4?
Yep.
I think now it is.
I literally have no idea. Jesus. Okay. Loading.
This is good.
I'll just do manual. Ay, 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 ay. Okay. Are the tires on the ground? Are all tires on the ground?
Yeah, these will barely see. But, yes, sir.
What about now? Yippee. Great. We have still yet to figure out the mystery to auto leveling to make sure all 4 tires stay on the ground. So if you're watching and have a tip or secret, if you could write that in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. We spent the rest of the morning just getting all hooked up and set up to stay for another week. I worked on water and electric, and Dan worked on sewer and satellite before heading inside. I'm gonna put the slide out. Controls are here. See here, but we do our checks first to make sure nothing's in the way. You can see these stools get tucked in, just make sure they're not in the way. To communicate. We absolutely loved this RV park. The views were completely immaculate and the spots were pretty spacious, and there were so many spots. The park itself had a mini golf course, some park benches and picnic tables. It had a pool that wasn't open this time of year, and it had a big dog park for the boys to run around. At the beginning of the week, we got ready with doing our laundry. Unpopular opinion, but I actually love doing laundry at RV parks. I get to put all the loads in at once instead of waiting to do them one at a time and fold them all at once, which I find very therapeutic. So, might be an unpopular opinion, but we're glad we went with the dishwasher over the washer-dryer combo.
Good thing that the Airstream, yeah, there's that little clothesline up that we could make our own somehow.
We checked our tank levels and decided to run the dishwasher. One learning that we did learn from the dishwasher is there are specific dishwash pods that will work with it and other ones will end in an error if they're too sudsy. We like the 7th generation power and it works well and doesn't end in an error code. You'll also need rinsing solution. With our chores out of the way and work wrapped up, we were ready to check out something we had never done before. We decided to soar to the summits and take Estes Park Aerial Tramway. The tramway has been operating since 1955 and is a classic cable car style aerial tram. It was designed by Robert Huron, who was instrumental in the early ski lift development in the US and is even credited to designing the first double-seated ski lift in the country. The tramway carries you to the top of Prospect Mountain, where you'll find a gift shop and small cafe called the Hungry Chipmunk. From the summit, you'll get sweeping views of the entire Estes Park Valley, Rocky Mountain National Park, and a few short trails up top to explore. We were even able to spot our RV park from all the way at the top. Later in the week, we made our way to the Stanley Hotel, which is one of the most iconic landmarks in Estes Park. It was built in 1909 and is super historic and was actually inspiring for The Shining after Stephen King stayed there in the 1970s. Today it's famous for its architecture, history, mountain views, and is actually one of the most haunted hotels in the country. So if you want a fun activity to do, we highly recommend doing the ghost tour. We've done that before. And then if you stop and explore the property, definitely grab a drink or dinner at the whiskey bar at the Cascades restaurant in the hotel. It's a super elevated cocktail whiskey bar, and it's just beautiful inside there. Oh yeah.
Where you want to go? Oh, cool. There's it's written on the bridge.
Huh?
The Stanley Hotel's written on the bridge. Cute.
If people you know become ghosts inside of you, like just keep them alive.
Wait. Cool. Just went to the Stanley Hotel and went to the whiskey bar there. It was super good. We split the filet trio, which was elk, bison, and venison. And it was super yummy. And then we got 2 sides and got some whiskey, really good old fashions. And we asked him if the cherry store downstairs, which was Colorado Cherry Company, that's the same as the pie company that we went to. They have a little store downstairs as well as the tours. And we asked if they would sell the cherries for old fashions. And he went and just gave us a cup of Luxardos for free in a plastic cup to go. Great. So now we will go home and make old fashions, and we don't have to stop to buy a $20 jar of cherries. So nice. Cheers.
Another activity we highly recommend is biking around Lake Estes. You can bike or take the walking trails. It's a great loop and is about a 4-mile, mostly flat trail for all skill levels, and it really is quite beautiful. It's nicely paved and there's a bunch of park benches and whatnot along the way, and you'll also pass by the golf course, which gives you a high likelihood of seeing some elk. We recommend parking at the visitor center and biking or walking from there. You can also make a pit stop at Ember, which is a restaurant right off of the lake. You can stop and get some drinks. They have a nice cocktail, really nice ambiance inside. This is a great spot to go if you want a really nice dinner, and it has an amazing ambiance and view of the lake. For our lake bike ride, we just locked our bikes out front and got a drink and an app and started to make our way back. On our way back, we noticed 2 bull elk fighting in the middle of Lake Estes, and it got even crazier. We, until this moment, did not realize elk could swim, and it was the coolest thing in the world to see elk swimming across Lake Estes. We just stopped and stared for a while. The elks started slowly making their way over to the golf course to the side of the trail, and the craziest thing happened again. They did their bugle call, and 2 more bull elk showed up. So there was 4 on the golf course, and it was really magnificent to see.
We had a little fiasco where we could not find our spare keys, which had the bike lock keys on it, and a few other locks on it, and our hitch extender was on the back of our truck, so we wouldn't have been able to pull on and hitch up. But we found it. So this is the PSA to always put your keys back in the same spot and make copies. Make a lot of copies. Keep them in bundles and keep them separately.
And just like that, it was time to hitch up and move on. We were heading to our next adventure, which was Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Lincoln and I say thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like what you see, please hit that like button below. And if you want to continue on the adventures, please hit subscribe. And as always, we hope our adventures inspire your adventures, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you.